And we are back. All the bars seem to be working fine. The stream seems to be working fine. And we are on War Tally. The Beardo Dad, nice to see you, man. How's it going? Didn't think we were getting a stream this week. Fantastic. Well, you see, there's a reason for that. I thought that the event I was going to was tomorrow. Up until, I think, like 2 days ago, when I realized it was actually Sunday. So I'm not traveling down to Bristol today. I'm traveling down to Bristol tomorrow. Luckily, Past Toast was well aware of the actual date and booked the hotel on the right day, even though I thought otherwise in reality. So that's handy. We did a good there. So here, I thought it's a perfect opportunity to go through the lists and maybe even the pack for Warcries in the West, because it looks to be a pretty big tournament. It's ran by Andy M, who is a legend of the community, and everyone who's gone there, I've met most people that are going there as well. It's a fantastic community, and I'm looking forward to catch up with everybody. So that's pretty good. Christoph, man, how's it going? I saw your Sylvaneth looking gorgeous, my dude. Thank you. I had a nightmare painting them because I hate painting. So I was quite down on them throughout the entire process. But now that they're done, I am quite happy with them. There's a few things I would like to do differently if I was doing them again, and a few mistakes here and there. But for the most part, I think that they're pretty snazzy. And in particular, I really like Skaith. I wasn't sure how to get him to fit in with the rest of the warband because he's alive and not like a tree ghost. But I think those spectral weapons now are kind of worked pretty well. Andy, man, how's it going? We're here talking about your event. It's the one and only Andy Morris, host of Warcries in the West, maker of one of the most interesting packs in Warcry, frankly. And it's a 23-player tournament. This is one of the larger tournaments we've had this year. So this is really exciting. Martin, how's it going, man? Christoph, doing great. Fun stream and some painting. Cut me back. There you go. It's the perfect Friday night. So we've got the event. We'll go through the pack, I think, a bit later on, because I'm terrible at actually going through packs, but also I've not actually looked at the pack. The closest thing I've done to look at the pack is look at the deployments, because I wanted to go into this completely blind. And there's only a certain amount of blindness I can go into it with because I've played this pack before in Southampton. But I don't know any of the details, but vaguely looking at the deployments and then deciding to put it in randomly. But let's go through the lists. And we will start with Ishak. Ishak, you'll see that people who've beaten me before, it will tell you on Warcrier. So Ishak gave me quite the pounding in round 1 of Storm in the South. Bisho Dad, you built your list without looking at the pack? Brave. Yeah, didn't look at it once. I decided that when I play Sylvaneth, I put together a Jack of all trades list, and that's what I'm going with. As a general rule, when I make lists, even for things like Road to Gold, I try to build a all-comers list and not try to tailor it to the pack in any substantial way. And that's just like I have a list that's sort of like able to handle most things and not be super specialized one way or another, really. And that's just like how I like to build lists. And plus a little bit of surprise when the event rolls around, so it was a lot of fun. But Ishak gave me a good old clapping in round 1 of the Storm the South, and he's come back with a very similar list. He initially ran, it was again Spire Tyrants. However, he only had 1 Myrmidon in that list. He's now taken 2 Myrmidons and slashed his list from like 8-man to like a 6-man. This list looks really killy. It's got that Destroyer. Destroyers are really good at killing things. Pit Champions are quite good. And then 2 Myrmidons and then 2 Nets. I imagine those Myrmidons are going to be poking each other for extra attacks. They're going to hit hard. There's no blessings here, so they've only got 3 attacks a pop, so they're not quite as scary without some sort of support. But this looks like a pretty darn killy list, and kill lists can do pretty well in the pack, from what I remember. Although it's the pack tailors to both kill and objective focused warbands, because you get to pick your preference essentially to gain bonus points during the mission for. So clearly Ishak's going for a super killy list, and this one looks pretty darn fun. And again, running Spire Tyrants, I'm a big fan of Spire Tyrants, and he like I said, he whooped my ass at Rotten in the first round last time, and this looks to be another pretty darn swanky list. Martin, getting over a bout of norovirus and still pitting the same trough as last Friday. Oh no. Get well soon, man. What do you think of the models? I think they look really good, but I haven't actually got my hands on them yet to have a proper look in person. Beardo, Andy, looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. Going to be a good day. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Driving down the day before, the night before, so I should be nice and refreshed for the actual event. So that'd be really cool. Martin, almost had a work trip overlap with this tournament. As it is, I'm going down a week later. Hey, love to see it. Andy, when you realise in half an hour's time that the pack has a new mission in. Oh no, the pack's changing? Oh dear. I'll wait till that changes then. So Ishak's got a great list. He's done very well from what I understand in the last event as well, and in Storm the South. The legend himself, Ishmael, rocking in with Seraphon. This lad is all about taking just the silliest lists. And Double Slan Hydra is his latest creation. He's run this for a little while. I believe he ran this in Warcries in the West as well. Sorry, Storm in the South in Southampton. And it's just a fun list. It's just 3 really scary things, and if you can't deal with them, then you're in trouble. And that's basically it. It's a great list. I've yet to play into it. Although from what I understand, I think Off Meta Musings has played into it, which is always a lot of fun. And he had a great time with it, so it's quite exciting. I'll skip over my list, because my list is the list that I've run on stream for the past 3, 4, 5 weeks. Matthew with his Untamed Beasts. I love Untamed Beasts. If you watched Road to Gold Season 1, it was like 2 months of non-stop Untamed Beasts. So you've got a Heart, First Fang, 3 Plains Runners, a Beast Speaker, and then a Slaughter Priest and a Chaos Spawn with Spite. Okay, I like this quite a bit. First Fangs are great. For that pull, you've got another pull on the Slaughter Priest. Chaos Spawn with Spite, working in tandem with the Slaughter Priest is basically a free reaction. You get to do a mini rampage, which is really interesting as a mechanic. You can then whip the spawn to make the spawn attack again with the Beast Speaker, and yeah, this has a fair bit of control, and it seems to be focused around this Chaos Spawn. Whether or not that's enough, because the spawn being a 4/4/2/4 is a little bit unreliable at like securing those big kills. That being said, he is getting free move actions and like up to 4 or even 5 attack actions per turn with the right investment. The spawn can actually get quite mighty if things start stacking up in your favor. So interesting list. Always love seeing Untamed Beasts. One of my favorite bespokes in Warcry for sure. We go on to the Riverblades. Mike's Riverblades, and we have a 9-man with 2 Seneschals with darts. This looks very similar to the list that Eitan was running when he was running Riverblades, although obviously he ran a Slan. But rocking the double Seneschal with the 2 darts, and then savagery on on basically everything. I'm not entirely sure if I agree with the placement of savagery in this list. I would have liked to see savagery on the Crest Dancers, just because they have just more damage output in general. I've really spiked those roped sickles to higher heights. Putting on the stream runners means you're likely looking to get those runners into combat and then attacking with them, which isn't the best idea, I don't think. And also the darts not having strength means they're only strength 4, which might struggle to punch through those higher toughness things, right? Like it's lacking that reliable damage output. But that being said, of course, they are still River Blades. They have that reliable damage on that run, on that double, which is good enough in a lot of cases, as we saw with Off-Meta Musings list. I can see this doing really well. If played well, this can do well. It's River Blades. They're really fast. They're really strong. They're all in faction, so actually they are incredibly strong in the movement aspect of the game. We'll see how that pans out when the event comes around. Christoph, River Blades with a null chemist couldn't be me. Null chemist in River Blades would be really interesting, for sure. As we talked about a lot in the last stream, it looks to be a really solid idea. And after talking to Off-Meta a few times about it, he's also up for the idea as well, which is always good. Sacrosanct Chamber. So this guy's got just the biggest balls in the industry, clearly, because I was going to run Sacrosanct in my last event, but I bailed and went Ruination with a Sacrosanct theme to it, basically. This guy's got actual Sacrosanct, 6-man, no blessings. Oh my, this is a list. Okay, so we have a tanky boy. We have 2 castigators, one being a prime, so we've got range dominance. Bearing in mind, castigators have tearing bite on their range attack. Castigators can do disgusting amounts of damage, so that's interesting. And then 2 evocators for that blend, and a Gryph-hound with resilience, so extra toughness. So it's a toughness 5 Gryph-hound. Interesting. I'm surprised that the 15 points didn't go on to the regular castigator, maybe to give it extra strength. Although I guess, you know, a toughness 5 Gryph-hound is what it is. It looks interesting. My concern would be that it could be a bit too static. Being a 6-man focused with 1/3 of your warband on ranged attacks, and that's where all your damage is, because evocators and the sequitors aren't hugely damaging. It might struggle to keep up with the flow of an actual game because the warband's too small for the amount of ranged in it, potentially, would be my concern. But regardless, though, the Thrice Forged, the Stormcast Sacrosanct, this is a funky list. I'm all for it. Then we go into Jamie's Gloomspite, and Gloomspite got a whole bunch of buffs, as we all know, with a lot of the guys just going down price across the board. Of course, you've got access to Uglug and his new guys, and the Dankhold is at its best, almost, or arguably, within Gloomspite. And we have a Dankhold. Dankhold is going to be dangerous as all hell. Not blessed, because it's expensive to bless these things. We have a Rockgut, a Stabber with Net, a Brewgit to, I assume, to buff the Rockgut, because Rockguts are actually really good in combat. So they're just durable, good little smackers. Critted up Wolf Killer. I believe that takes them to a 2-5, maybe a 2-6, which is really good when you consider Wolf Killer also buffs his own attacks drastically. With Uglug, who also gets pretty darn spicy once buffed. And then Rigan Sham and Boggle-Eye for a bit more named support. Looks like a fun list. 8-man monster list is always dangerous. The rule is, if you can get a monster list with 7-man, you're good to go. If you can go above 7, it's even better. So a 8-man Dankhold list looks to be quite terrifying, especially when you've got a net in there as well. And you have other scary, killy things like a Brewgate Drogoth and Uglug and Borgit being quite threatening too. So that's a pretty funky list as well. Going on to Andy Gregory's Cruel Boy Monster Killers. It's okay. I saw this pop up on Discord, it's the 4 monkey list. So it's got a harpoon, because you always need that harpoon in there. The harpoon is amazing for rip it out. You've got a bone hacker, which I believe is the saw, the big old 2-handed saw, if I remember correctly. A cluster grab because they're cheap, a beast knob because they hit like a ton of bricks and you need one, and then 4 howlers. Howlers are fast. I believe they're moving 6. They might be moving 8. I think they're moving 6, and they get like 5 attacks with decent damage output. These guys are low strength, high volume, just blenders. They will eat through chaff like no tomorrow, and their biggest counter, Grumpy, no Vulcan Flameseekers. There's 3 of them. We'll get to them, worry not. There is a lot of Vulcan representation. I am all for this. But yeah, 4 howlers. Their biggest counter was actually straight up counter. You could take like 1, 2 howlers and do okay for like a bit of like fast moving pressure. 4 in the past, I think, were just killed itself from just having so many attacks on like half your warband in this case, just about. Or exactly half your warband. They would have all just died. But in this instance, it's a lot of speed, it's a lot of power. The biggest downside to them now is their beasts. So half the warband can't carry treasure, and they're also the fastest aspects of your list. So you want your fast things to grab treasures, they can't. But that's fine. I think this list is really interesting, and I'm excited to see how those howlers work out because they're a lot of fun. And 4 is a flex. I would like to see more monster killer lists just adding in more howlers and just see how far they can push it before this just collapses in on itself. Like, is 5 too many? I want to see 6. Let's get a hexa howler list going. Stephen Rhodes with Jade Obelisk. Okay. Love to see the Jade Obelisk make an appearance, and the sheer number of so far the bespoke stuff. Right, we've got Spire Tyrants, Untamed Beasts, Riverblades, Monster Killers, Jade Obelisk, a whole bunch of Flame Seekers. A good old bespoke representation. Looking at these guys, this looks to be a 1-box, which is absolutely fine. The 1-box for Jade Obelisk, I believe this is a 1-box. It looks like a 1-box. The 1-box of Jade Obelisk is actually quite strong because Desecrators are really powerful. Their damage output is nuts. And Obelisk Bearers are like 110 points, 20 wound blenders. And even the Defacers with their Stonecutter tools, these can just burst damage out of nowhere. If these can get into a prolonged combat, like get into combat safely, and on the next turn just like badoosh with their chisel and just like crack their skulls open, Defacers can do a lot of work. And I got a bit of in my early days of YouTube, I did a video on Jade Obelisk and actually said that I quite liked the Antithit bows. And I still stand by that. Are they as good as Stonecutter tools? No, I don't think they are at all. But the bows give you a way to deal with chaff, to deal with things on low wounds. And remember, Jade Obelisk have like very little threat range. They've got very little presence on the board because they've got range 1, movement 3. Almost universally, right? So having a couple of Defacers with bows gives you, I think it's 12 inch, but it could be a 15 inch potentially threat range, just to pop away some low value damage to pick off the last couple of wounds, chip away at chaff at a distance, and just be a nuisance, right? I'm a big fan of bows, and with a 10-man warband with a whole bunch of people to fight and a couple of bows for a bit of fun, I'm all for it. And Idle Arc as well. Idle Arcs combo wonderfully with those bows as well, because the Idle Arc reduces toughness by a substantial chunk, if I recall. I think it's toughness. By a good chunk. And then those Defacers come in and then hit on 3+ and try and get that chip through even easier. So like Idle Arc plus the bows are a solid combo. And then, yeah. It's a one box. It is a limit to what it can like feasibly do. But that being said, the Jade Obelisk have a pretty solid one box, in my opinion. So with some good piloting, Stephen, I can see this do some work. And good to see you in the chat. Philax, how's it going, man? Ziggy, how's it going? On to Bitter Lake. Charlie's, we have the Head Knights of Slaanesh. And you've got ally in that. Yes, putting in the Witherlord into Jade Obelisk is a time-honored tradition. Because it's a good combo. It's expensive because the Idle Arc is still a triple, I believe, to reduce toughness. So you need 2 triples to reduce toughness and then do the big old lethal injection. So like most toughness, like large toughness debuffs, they are quite expensive. Firellax, you've been grudged. Oh my, who has grudged you, man? Christoph, I always talk about the same shit, dude. So do I. It's fine. Look, with a Lord, right? With a Lord is one of those things that people like in the competitive scene know is good, but no one actually takes seriously. But that guy for 175 points has great stats. It's good stats and a really good ability. Things is a menace. Like, you can definitely do work, and you spout off about that guy as much as you want. This is a safe space for with a lot of us. Oh, the Gloomspite list. You've accepted, but it means round 1 Dankhold. Ooh, that's gonna be a tough one. Although if you can get through it though, it means you've managed to conquer a pretty good looking Dankhold list. We'll be getting to fight Korgrath versus Dankhold. I'd rather see Deathbringer versus Dankhold personally, but we'll see how that turns out. On to Bitter Lake's list, we have a Head Knight list, and a Head Knight's got a pretty hefty debuff and nerf in the last FAQ because their Bliss Brews got a points increase. On the plus side, Vasilak and Slake Slash got their points, I think, returned to normal, in this FAQ, because I think there was a mistake on their points changes, so they got reverted. This is a good list. Bliss Brews are cheap, they're fast at moving 5. Vasilak is very dangerous, very tanky. You can't mess with Vasilak or go into him unprepared. He can mess up your day. Slake Slash is speed. He's a missile. You throw him in, kaboom, you kill a thing, and then you usually die. But he's always good. And then a Varangard. Yeah. Fast mobility, toughness, wounds, and damage output. Varangard is the complete package. You can't knock it. This is a great list. I can see it doing really, really well. Really well. I believe, I think I saw in the Discord that Bitter Lake was talking about he took this at UK Games Expo as well, or a variation of this. And I imagine it did well there as well. So that's quite exciting. We go on to our first of three Flameseeker lists. By David, this one. 9-man. Let's have a look. 9-man to me screams 1 box. And we have a 1 box. Love to see it. Like with Jade Obelisk, Vulcan Flameseekers have a very powerful 1 box. This is legitimately dangerous. Like, you can't sleep on this lineup. Like, at all. There's a mixture of split axes and bokars, which is the usual way of running scale breakers. I am the exception. I run only bokars because I am a greedy boy, and I love this. This makes me happy. Thanes with swiftness are the way. Thanes with swiftness are always the way. If you take the Thane, if I take a Thane, it's all. People tend to take strength. I think strength is just not really worth it. Swiftness is the way. This gets this guy around the board. Lets you do your triple more reliably. Guy's a menace. This can do really well. Like, we saw when Flameseekers first came out. I'm going to zoom in a bit more because I've just realised we're actually quite zoomed out. There we go. Flameseekers were slept on a lot on their release. There wasn't a huge amount of community love for them from just the competitive community. With it, there was a few exceptions. I was one of the exceptions. I absolutely loved them. But then it turned out that actually like a one box managed to beat like double Varangard at a major event. Oh wow, okay, yeah, because one box is really good. So this has serious potential because it's Vulcan Flameseekers. So played well. This can do serious work. We go on to our second Vulcan Flameseekers. The Beardo Dad. Never sleep on dwarfs with pants. Grumpy Guard. Versus other slows, strength on Thane is not bad. Nah. Always movement. It gives you another... So my stance is that with movement, it means you've got with the Kindledroth, you've got a second target who can really effectively use Blazing Impetus to run 12 inches in one turn, and not 9. And also it means you've got another really good target for the Drothmaster to whip, because he gets to move 8 inches and not just 6. Also, the Thane is one of the only models in the range that has range 1, while still being locked to movement 3. The only other model being the Kindledroth, who's range 1 but is movement 4. So your threat range on the Thane is lower than everybody else. If you give him +1 movement, that threat range is the same as everyone else. He now has a 5-inch threat range, so he can do his work a bit easier. And I think that's more, to me, that's more valuable than going to strength 5. But that's just me, personally. Rob, with more Flameseekers. This is another one box. Wild. Where's the blessings? Here we go. Thane with might. So we've got one thing with movement, and then one thing with might. This is another one box. It all applies here. The only thing I disagree with is, again, it's the Bakaz. It's the Bakaz. We need more Bakazes. Everyone with Bakaz is the way, I'm telling you. It's the only way to run them. Even the Ruin Father. Everyone gets a Bakaz in my lists. Again, the same thing applies here. Flameseekers can always do well. They're dangerous. They can cut through monsters and cut through anything. Yeah, might is... That's because you're wrong, Parallax. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We have Hobby Jackal. How would I miss this? Hobby Jackal's going to the event. Love to see it. Content creator extraordinaire Hobby Jackal with the Gloomspike Gates running 8-man. When I saw 8-man, I immediately thought, oh no, another Dancold list. It's not. We have a very squiggy list. We have a Bounder Boss, 2 Zarbags, a Squig Hopper, 2 Nets, 3 Nets, and a Loon Boss. This is a really fun list. This is crazy fast. Bounder Bosses are like movement 10 with Fly, I believe. T5 on the Hopper as well, because that resilience. Zarbags get Squigs are quite expensive, but their damage output is really good. And the Loon Boss is decently tanky, okay in combat, and has a really fun quad. With Rampage out of the equation, having a quad in your list is also important, and the Loon Boss has a really good one where it adds dice value to everybody's attacks within 6 inches. So those Bounder Bosses and those Squig Hoppers and the Zarbags get Squigs get really big with that Loon Boss. That's really exciting. So that's really exciting. This is a really fun list. Andy, yeah, with Hobby Jackal in attendance, it means we've got real YouTube celebrities coming. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Stephen Rhodes, I do love the Witherlord and have one, so maybe I should look into getting him in an appointment in the Jade Obelisk. He's not a bad shout, Stephen. The Witherlord and the Idler combo can do some work. And he's another fairly hefty hitter with that 4-4-3-5 profile. Block Kings, that Gits list is going to be fun to pilot. It really is. You've got 2 sources of madcap destruction. That's like the bare minimum for a fun list, is 2 sources of madcap. And we have 3 nets. So we've got that support that we need. And the speed for it is, so this guy can run some light kill. He can do kill into lesser killy warbands. He can bully less killy warbands in kill missions. And with that speed, fly, movement tricks, you can definitely go around and do objectives and treasures really nicely. Ziggy, my gits list is very close, very fun. Yeah, it's a good list. I'm really enjoying it. Of course, remember the Loon boss goes really well with their battle trait. So if you get that low value quad, you could upgrade to a higher value quad, therefore making their big old attack bubble even better. So this could be a really fun list. Big fan of this already. So far, there's been a lot of variety in what we have here. Between 1 boxes, 1 box pluses, and some really hard as nails lists. There's a good old variety, which I'm a big fan of. We have Lee running Caradon Overlords. Christoph, the Witherlord in Jade Obelisk is more of a meme though. For the combo, you need 2 high triples. You do. It's quite the investment to pull it off. But the meme is good. Never let the meme die. Joe, good day. Goblins. Yes, there's 2 goblin lists at the event. One with a bunch of squigs, and one with a dank hold and a rock gut. So some pretty spicy Gloomspite lists. Ziggy. People run into the Zarbag squigs and find out. They do. People underestimate just how nasty Zarbag squigs can be, and how tanky they are as well, compared to everything else. Squiggy. Without a rider, I guess. Zarbags are quite tanky, and they hit quite hard. And they become very nasty with that Loon boss. So there's some potential there for some fun murder. So Lee's Caradon. Null Chemist. Let's go. 7-man. So right off the bat, 7-man is a little bit small. Because you look at Caradon, they're a little bit squishy. Their models are like 12 wounds and don't go much higher than that until you hit your heroes, and their heroes even then aren't that durable in the grand scheme of things. So 7 is a little bit spooky. That being said though, Lee definitely got the memo here. Null Chemist for that movement 10 fly, and Kazgan for that movement 10 fly. This guy has speed for days. He is everywhere. That Null Chemist will be an absolute nightmare. Can you imagine this list going up against the double Slan Hydra list? The potential of that Null Chemist killing both Slan in one game? Like, that's kind of spicy, right? Just this Null Chemist going, what the hell? There's 2 Slan! Let's go, boys! Just flies in, just melts them. We have a bunch of guns. This is all guns, bar one guy. Like, Kazgan is the only guy without a gun. And I think Kazgan actually has a gun anyway. I think he's got a pistol, but he's more melee focused. We've got the Ether Shot Rifle, Deck Sweepers. So Ether Shot Rifles, I think, have more damage and more range. Deck Sweepers have more attacks. The Rivet Gun. Oh my god, that's another one. That's another flyer. That's 3 flyers. Okay, so we have 3 flyers. This is arguably the fastest moving KO list ever put together. 3 flyers. None of the new guys though. None of the cheap flyers. But we've got some pretty expensive flyers. We have a Sky Pike, which is always good to see. A Garrett Allenson, because you can't not take him. He's a slightly better Arcanaut for the same price. It makes sense here. This list is interesting. It's really fast in some really fun ways, but it's also like entirely ranged based. Which means that if you get into combat with something, it can be really difficult to then kill that thing. So this looks like a lot of fun, but it could run into some trouble into certain lists. For example, if it runs into Hobby Jackal, I think it's in a lot of trouble because Hobby Jackal can catch your flyers and very easily kill them. or catch your small guys and also kill them instead, because he also has fast-moving flyers. So interesting that we've seen 2 lists now that are going, I would say, heavy on speed. The Cybrites, of course, have Slake Slash plus those the Varangard, 4 monkeys, Riverblades. There's a lot of speed being on display so far. We go into PC Banks with his Ossiarch Bone Reapers. I suspect to see a flyer in here as well. Maybe one of those big old Sentinel guys, because they're so good. Ossiarch are really powerful. I think they get overlooked a lot because Soul Blight are really good and are also skeletons. Ossiarch have their own flavour, and that flavour is quite strong. 8-man, love to see it. Yes, Stalker. With Spirit Blades. Is Spirit Blades the one with lots of attacks or less attacks? Let's go to Warcry. Let's check that out. Spirit Blades. Yes, lots of attacks. So he's going full blend. We're going fully blend centric here. So these are 5/5 2/4s, I believe, on those Necropolis Stalkers. They've got like 30 wounds. Very durable. They have charge as well, so they're very fast. They get into combat and just blend. Spears on those Nadrites makes sense. Tanky, range 2. It's a 2/5, very nice. And Hekatos and a Briar Queen. Briar Queen's a good shout. Briar Queen's really powerful. You don't see Briar Queen all that much because of the wielder of the blade. But the wielder of the blade got nerfed because ferocity got nerfed. So the wielder's more expensive, making the Briar Queen a potential better shout because she's only 180 unblessed, and 180 unblessed for her triple is really strong, especially in a warband with not that many good abilities. So Briar Queen could really pop off here. Movement debuffs, massive damage output at safe distance, and a built-in range attack, plus resurrection, which is a Night Haunt. She can resurrect things without any restriction. So those Stalkers dying, they come back. This looks to be pretty darn scary. So I'm looking forward to seeing how... no, she's 195 unblessed. Okay. So with the blessing, it goes... Okay, I understand. Thanks, Beardo. Even then, though, 195... 195 is still, I believe, cheaper than the Wield of the Blade, right? So, despite that, she's still rocking out and potentially doing more than a wielder does nowadays. So I'm glad to see that here. This is a great list. The Hekatos as well. Of course, you need a hero, but the Hekatos is a really good hero. He's cheap. He doesn't do much else in terms of stats. He's just cheap. But his ability lets you move your guys. Just move your guys. So there you go. That whole battle group, the Hammer battle group, gets to move for free, which looks really good. And yeah, the T5 res carry, right? She's the toughest ghost in Night Haunt at T5. And she has, 22 wounds as well? So I think she's also the toughest non-mounted thing in Night Haunt until you start looking at things like Spirit Hosts, who aren't one ghost, they're many ghosts. Andy, this list looks solid. Definitely one of my picks in terms of raw list strength. I agree. This looks really scary. If you can't punch through those Stalkers, you are in real trouble. My concern, having played a lot of Ossiarch, is that they really struggle into Flame Seekers. Like those Stalkers, if they can't kill a Scale Breaker, for example, the Scale Breaker can take one down by itself. So it's very scary. You don't want to run into a Scale Breaker, not kill it, and then have it attack you twice with an Ignite Weapon, then go first and attack you again with an Ignite Weapon, because it will die. Every time, from my experience. So they're very durable, but they're not unkillable. They can be taken down with some of the bigger hitters in the game, and Vulcan Flame Seekers might be the bane of this list. Potentially. But I'm also biased. So I like Flame Seekers. Laszlo with Hellsmiths. Chaos Dwarfs. Are we going to see Cow? We see Cow. Let's go. 7-man Cow list. And it's going all out. So this list is all melee. Oh, wow. And movement. Holy shit. Okay. This list looks amazing. So instead of going with a whole bunch of guns and support pieces to go with the engine, he's like, nah, I'm just going to go with all my dudes and give them all +1 movement. So Infernal Cohort are already devilishly fast because of their double. The War Despot makes them even faster. They're also movement 4 now, so they're even faster. The T5, 15 wounds. And the Musician gives everybody within 12 +1 attack. And of course, all that the demon point stuff, you get extra strength, extra attack, extra crit everywhere. Like these Bane Maces are actually like potentially crit 8. Right? Like the real question becomes is, can this Dominator engine get into a position where it can actually do something? It's movement 5, but its base is so big, right? With the wrong terrain setup, the Dominator engine might struggle to actually get anywhere. If this thing touches you, you are absolutely fucked. Like, there are so few things that can fight a Dominator engine that you have to be really careful around it. And with all of these cohort packing 4 attack space because of the Musician popping off with that double, right? Like, this list actually has a fair amount of blend to it. It's got a lot of movement, it's got a lot of blend, and it's got this really big centerpiece. I can see this doing really well, right? There's nothing, like, particularly special about it in terms of, like, tricks or the toolbox is quite limited. But the limited toolbox on display is actually very threatening, I think, yeah. So, but I think it all comes down to this guy. Terrain and this guy, because I think we've mentioned it on Wild Dice or in my video or during during one of the few collaborations I've been on recently about Chaos Dwarfs and the update. I think the Dominator engine is either going to be a huge trap because he's too clunky, or he's going to be really good. And I'm looking forward to see how this goes. I really want to see Phylax go toe-to-toe with this list and see if the Dominator can just blend his whole Warband and his big things, or if the Deathbringer comes in, just one-taps him with a single 6 on 1 dice. Because that'd be hilarious. So it's going to be a fun time. This is a really good list. Big fan. Another really strong list, I think, as well. And I think it's the only representation of a Hellsmith at this event. So Laszlo getting this together in preparation it's a good time. Edward Tyson with Corvus Cabal, already loving it because Corvus Cabal are the best. Beardo Dad, I definitely feel that the cohort are going to be sneaky damage dealers. A double and 3 points, and your 85 point unit is a 5-5-2-4. Why am I the punching bag? Because you said Thane with strength was better than Thane with movement. I can't let that go. I'm sorry. Corvus Cabal are the best. Just going in there and just big dicking a Vexmore. Like, Vexmore being all, nerfed again, does not stop Edward rocking Vexmore anyway, because spoiler, Vexmore's still good, right? Like, I think we'll see a lot less Vexmores because he is worse, but Vexmore isn't actually bad, despite what naysayers may say. Vexmore's still really good. He's just not, disgustingly undercosted. At 200 points, Vexmore is really solid. The only issue I have with Vexmore and Corvus Cabal is that you lose your battle trait, and I really like that battle trait. That being said, the double Shrag Talon is great to see. We've got some Spears, some Kabbalists, and a Shadow Piazza, which is your leader. This list looks really interesting. I think this is Ed who usually takes triple Shrag Talon. So we've got double Talon Vexmore as opposed to triple Shrag Talon. I'm a fan of it. Shrag Talons are one of the best units in the whole game, in my opinion. With or without their battle trait, they are incredible because of their utility, their speed, and their output. And Corvus Ed is just, he's great. That's a great name, and it fits. He is definitely the premier Corvus Cabal player. He is always bringing Corvus, and he does pretty well. He's got a solid win ratio. Damn, this tourney is stacked. There's some one boxes, some one box pluses, but then as we're getting closer to the bottom, we're getting some like really spicy lists in here. Andy with the, is this Andy of tournament fame with his Arcanites of Zinch? Let's have a look. Tournament winner himself. I mean, you've never seen Ed play anything else. That's hilarious. He is the face of Corvus Cabal. So we have the any Cruel Boys on the stack as monster killers. I haven't seen Cruel Boys yet though by themselves. There could be though. 8-man Arcanites, which is I believe not thematic. Has to be 9-man, and you're letting the theme down already. I'm disappointed in you. We've got a Thermitage though, which is awesome. Love to see a Thermitage. They're really fun. Mutant, I love mutants. You don't see enough of them. They work really well with their double doing bonus damage. Aviarchs for their future past nonsense for like massive damage output. Navier and Turash, I believe, are like ranged units. Vortimus, the All-Seeing, is great. His quad's really fun. His output is like, I'm sure he can buff himself to like a 5-6-3-6 or something on a quad. So you can become an Uber Slan and just fire a bajillion times. Another mutant and a regular Zan Golf Blades. This looks really fun. Strength on Vortimus and the Aviarch is great. The Aviarch going to strength 5 and Vortimus going to strength 4 is super solid. And Warp Fate, after the initiative phase starts the attacker, each player of a Warband's battle trait can roll a dice. For every double, triple, or quad on a 4+, they go to value 6. That is so good. When you consider that, I believe it's Aviarchs, Vortimus, and Mutants, and to a degree the Thermitage, all require like high values on their dice. Warp Fate is like the be-all or end-all of your ability game here. So this looks like a lot of fun. And yes, that's me. I don't expect to play because we're odd numbers, but I went looking for a list that loves high value dice because the battle trait means I've got a 58% chance of my dice combos are 6. Yeah, it's a 5-6-3-6 or a 5-7-3-6 because I've blessed them. Yeah, I love Vortimus, you're seeing. He's a fun bloke. I like this list a lot. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully we do get to see it because there's not enough Arcanite representation, but we'll see. Soulblight, our first and only Soulblight player with Ollie. Blame the FAQ. Okay, yeah, it's a fairly standard list. You've got Diantelos, who's just like, you know, an absolute murder hobo. Night Shrouds and Ethereal Steed was slept on for too long. I'm glad to see it's in this list and in a list that is coming up in a second. Guy's an absolute murder machine. Ask Vilax, he hates him with a burning passion. We have Coil, Ion, Bolt, and Vlash as our lightning zombies. A bunch of zombies for some chunky wounds and a dire wolf. Bearing in mind, dire wolves are not beasts. They can hold treasures and are very fast. This list is great. It's Soulblight. It's 11 fighters. You have 2 potential resurrection caddies. You have a lot of bulk in the Night. The Night Shroud alone is just pure raw ass bulk, and then the zombies themselves are going to be tanking for days because of unfeeling flesh. The battle trait is also really good at stopping range attacks. As an example, you look at things like Rat Ogres with gun or any big wizard blasty guy. They will struggle to kill a Deadwalker zombie because like the first shot that crits them is turned into a hit. So you need 4 hits to actually kill a zombie, not like a crit and 2 hits. So on your 4 dice, you really have to roll pretty darn hot to kill a zombie. And when you're struggling to kill a 50-point model with your really expensive like murder slan or wizard, you're in trouble. So yeah, Deadwalker zombies are just really tanky, and there's a lot of damage coming out of Coil, Iron, and Bolt and Vlash potentially, and Diantelos being a Strength 6 wizard is actually incredible. So there's play here, as is to be expected from Soul Blight. Very strong list. And Phylax, the dying is optional Night Shrouds. Yes, the Night Shrouds, if you don't know, can heal for all eternity. What you don't want is the Night Shrouds to be standing next to soft things, and then just waiting there forever, because he will then activate once he's on low enough wounds and heal back to full because of his ability, which is hilarious. So the Night Shrouds is potentially unkillable based on the warband, and his movement 10 can resurrect and can also go to a 4-4-4-4 with Frightful Touch, so he can absolutely just pop the fuck off and kill you dead in melee when he really wants to. So really, really strong list. Gets destroyed by the Null Chemist. He kind of does, right? The Null Chemist getting 12 shots at, what, 3 damage because of the fly? The Null Chemist might pop that guy immediately. I think on average it does 25 damage, though. I believe a Null Chemist into a Night of Shrouds is 25. So it won't kill of 25 adjacent. I don't think it actually, on average, kills a Night of Shrouds, but it gets him so low that he's really hurting. To the point where he'll likely die shortly afterwards. Going on to Yulaine. Oh, sadly, Yulaine's actually beaten me twice. I have got a 0% win rate in Yulaine. This guy has fucking kicked my ass on 2 occasions. He's running Vulcan Cross Octopus. He ran this at UK Games Expo. We're looking at Mighted Up Sephania, Mighted Up Sirenia of the Abyss, and yeah, this is just an amazing list. This is more or less the list that I ran at UK Games Expo as well. It is very powerful. It is fast with Sireni and Sephania and the Whip. It has damage because we have Bukazes and we have, again, Sireni. Bearing in mind, Sireni is a 3-4-3-6. She is a Mega Wizard. So you have to be careful of the Mega Wizard. She can absolutely shred. She's basically a Slan. Right, she's a Slan. Right? Incredible. Sephania, 8 attacks. Amazing quad combos to Drothmaster really well. List's great. I can see this doing really amazingly well. And there are some matchups, some really strong lists in this lineup that will struggle, I think, into this list specifically. Because 1, Yulaine is a fantastic player, and 2, this list is really good at bullying a lot of different kinds of lists, especially like lists that really focus on having for example, Dankolds are scary. Blocking's your right, it's a 3-7, of course. It's better than a Slan. 3-4-3-7 or 3-4-3-6. So Sireni's even better than I remembered. But yeah, things like Dankolds are in a lot of trouble into Vulcan Flameseekers. The Ossiarch list is in quite a bit of trouble. The Night Shrouds as well, if caught out of position, can also be killed very quickly with this. There's a lot of power in that list that will surely cause a lot of pain to a lot of people, which is a lot of fun. Hopefully not me, because I've matched with Yulaine in my last 2 tournaments he's been at, and it's not been pretty. So the Ravaged Coast Blues, it was my elite list into a horde of Plague Bearers on objective missions. It was never going to go particularly well, and it didn't. I almost tabled them, though. So I lost the game, but I definitely won the battle. And then it was a Dwarf-Off at UK Games Expo, and I completely fucked it. It was a massive misplay on turn 2, because I forgot to do an ability. and it completely fucked us. So I lost due to my own terrible play on that one. So Yulaine is 2-0 into me, which is, I would like to avoid him. The next one, I might have a chance of winning the event if I avoid Yulaine. That's my takeaway from that. Off-meta musings himself with his fleshy accords. Did you know that the Null Chemist can fight Chuck Norris? The Null Chemist is great, right? You can't scoff the Null Chemist. The guy's gonna make some waves. Christoph, well, the average is 24, so you need a bit of luck, right? You need to hit 2 hits more than average to kill a Knight of Shrouds with a Null Chemist, which is kind of spicy. So a bit of luck and maybe an extra guy to fire from somewhere else, he goes down. So Eitan's list, another Knight of Shrouds list, which I'm sure Philax is happy about. Knight of Shrouds is awesome. I won't go over it again. He's fantastic. And then we have Valric. Is it Valric the Trekker? No, here we go. High Falcon of Felgrin. So Felgrin got a massive buff. I say buff, it was just fixed because the ability didn't work as intended. It was worded terribly. It's now worded to work how it's supposed to work naturally. So now, if he hits you, then he pops his ability, then you can't crit until you heal or die. That's it, right? So you can shut down things like Slan. You can shut down or anything with high crit. You can completely just remove from any kind of relevance or reliability. High Falcon of Felgrin is just an absolute nuisance. You got the Net of Shrouds for Resurrection because Flesh Accords don't have Resurrect in faction at all. So you take the Net of Shrouds, that fixes that right up. And then you've got just all this stuff, which is basically mostly Grisella's warband. And they have a fantastic double that lets you move your guy, move the guy you picked. The guy you picked also gets to go next on a double. It's insane. So this warband is very fast. There's a fair amount of wounds on there's 2 lots of wounds to make some things a bit chunkier. The only issue is, as is the case with most of Off-Meta Musings lists, is that he has very little kill power. Right, there's very little kill here, because he is running a more control-y, pain in the arse kind of list, and that 9-man mostly moving 5, I think, unless Grisella's ghouls are all moving 4, potentially. So you got moving 10 guy, potentially moving 5 guys everywhere else, but it's that double, right? You're going to spam that double all day, every day to get guys around the board, and once they start dying, just revive them. Right, it's just an easy revive. So like, yeah, this is a fantastic list. I can see it do really well, and you don't see Fleshy Accords often, right? Like, talking to Off-Meta on the run up to this tournament, like he's on a mission as per usual to prove something's really good. For example, he went off to prove that Skaven didn't require Rat Orgas, and then went and won Storm in the South. He's also coming here to go, no, actually, Fleshy Accords, these guys have some actual play. And then Badoosh, he's brought something that I think has a lot of play, especially in the hands of someone who wins everything, apparently. His win record this year has been staggering. He has won so many events. And he's definitely a contender for winning this one, because this list looks really nice in a very non-killy way. B.Dad, Off-Meta's very, very pretty Fleshy Accords. I saw them on Reddit. That dude can paint. He can. This list looks amazing. And his Knight of Shrouds conversion kit bash proxy looks awesome. It looks really good. I don't know where he gets the ideas from. The guy's just, he's a font of just awesome looking models. Like his, I believe his Riverblade list was like an Amazon Blood Bowl team. Converted up to be Riverblades, with his Slan being this like snake woman on a giant plinth. It was just like, what the fuck? It was awesome. he brings out some funky stuff every time. So that's always good. On to Phylax himself, World Cry UK, Wild Dice co-host, and perpetual punching bag on stream. It's Phylax. So apparently, this just feels like a lie. So apparently, I've got a 0% win rate in Phylax. That's not true. Because Gamers Workshop don't use War Tally. I have a win there. We are 1 for 1. But Phylax is a seriously good player, and he's brought a seriously good list. This is just like all the threat everywhere, all the time. Holy shit. You are in trouble. Right? Like, he will fight. The fact that this is an 8-man list. An 8-man list. And it comes with a Deathbringer, a Korgorath, and a Gohulk. Like, what the fuck do you do into that, right? If you have a killy list, like, most killy lists can't outkill this, right? Because the Deathbringer can potentially one-tap anything in the game. The Korgorath is a cheap and cheery 4-8 profile who can just punch a hole through your chest. And the Gohulk has a fantastic profile and can do jumping off the top rope and just overhead slam you into the fucking dirt. So these three alone are hilariously threatening. The amount of space they will control is disgusting, because the Deathbringer, his 4-inch death bubble, the Korgorath, a 4-inch death bubble as well, and the Gohulk is also 4-inch death bubble, 5-inch. These are all 5-inch death bubbles. You plonk these guys around. Obviously, they're in 3 different deployment groups, so they'll be on 3 different parts of the board. They're controlling 3 parts of the board, and you have to do something about them. You can't really dance around them. You will have to deal with them in one way or another, one at a time ideally. And of course, you have the Realm Goal, who is fantastic for a very cheap, very squishy pull. So you can pull things into your Deathbringer, into your Korgorath, your Gohulk. She has access to all of the Slaughter Priest's abilities, so you can also do Blood Boil to do some really good range damage as well. Like, it's scary shit. And then you've also got to factor in, right? You've also got to factor in the fact that the Blood Reavers, well, the whole warband, sorry, has access to the battle trait, which is, if I die, you take damage, and their reaction is turbo counter. So if you miss them, or you hit them, one of the two, you take massive amounts of damage. So he kills you, you kill yourself, you kill him, he then kills you anyway because of reactions and because of his battle trait. There is damage everywhere. And of course, Blood Reavers are moving 5. They're moving 5! So they're fast. This is a really strong list. Core Mortals have been in a good place for a while, but we don't see them very often. So seeing Phylax rock up with arguably the heaviest, hardest hitting, murderiest Corn list of all time. If this guy doesn't do well, I will be truly shocked. And if I was to match up, I'm going to look at my list at the end. But I don't see how I could deal with this. In a straight-up kill mission, in most mission types, I think my list completely falls to this. There is simply too much to deal with, and my list is really good at bullying people, and you can't bully this list. So I'm very concerned about this list. It is very good. Don't pile the weight of expectation. If Phylax doesn't win, okay, he has to win. Otherwise, we are all going to be disappointed. You can't let it all down, Phylax. Let's do a poll. Badoosh. Poll. I'm going for best painted at least. Oh, so you sent me the picture, didn't you, actually? Right. I always struggle to do this. Okay, so let's see if I can actually get this to work. So So if you go to window capture, and we go to Discord, there we go. So this should appear on screen momentarily, and we get a look at Phylax's rather wonderful warband. With board and all. It should change over in a second. In theory, this is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Then it won't. There we go. So we have Phylax's rather beautiful list. It looks nasty. It looks scary. Practical rice. We're all Phylax stands here. Damn right we are. See, we can poke fun at Phylax all I want, right? But in reality, right, Phylax is a great player, and he is definitely, with this kind of list, I think he's got a really good chance of pulling out a pretty good performance. The head is off the Deathbringer because I'm trying to freehand a skull. Ooh, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to this all being done. Grumpy Guard, Phylax for the win. Well, if chat is to be believed, 67% of chat believe you will win the event, Phylax. So that's 67% of the entire Warcry community. If we inflate the numbers a bit, believe you are going to win. So you have the true weight of expectation on your shoulders. We'll head over back to War Tally, and we'll finish off. The final list is Alex. Alex, the legend himself. He's running, like, if Sacrosanct was like massively big dicked, right? I think that Vanguard possibly like are the biggest of dicks, right? Vanguard are incredibly hard to do anything with, and this list is he's ran Vanguard a few times to mixed success, but this looks like a really fun list. You have Sanson Fast Rider and the whole warband there. You love to see it. The whole Fast Rider warband. Ilthari is amazing, largely because she's a cheap wizard, right? A cheap wizard who has access to a quad for massive AoE damage. Also opens up Anslane, the Revenant Archer. And Anslane, the Revenant Archer, is great. 65 points, 2-3-1-4. Great. For it's like point for point, probably one of the best archers in the whole game. Actually cracked. Averon Stormsire slept on the entirety of Warcry's history. Averon is an absolute murder machine. You get within 8 inches and then you will likely die. So Averon has a wonderful triple that is quite easily the power of a quad. So Averon is a real threat. And then we have Farasa twice risen. Farasa twice risen. There you go. And she can't be revived in this list because there isn't the reviving character. But that doesn't matter because Farasa is just a really good blender. So this list being a 7-man Stormcast list is always good. There is a whole bunch of tank in here, and everything can shoot. The shooting isn't the most impactful. It's mostly like 3-4-1-4s. So it is very much like just Orc Daka, hoping for the best. But there's some movement tricks, there's some AoE tricks, and we have Averon for some just raw damage output. So I can see this doing pretty well. I hope it does really well, because Vanguard getting a good performance would be just the best day. But it would be the best day. So I'm hoping Alex does really well. And that's everyone's list. There is such a good variety of lists here. You've got like full-on meme machines like Ishmael running like double slan Hydra. You have some really good elite lists. Like I think one of the lists that might like be potentially a threat in terms of like raw kill power to Phylax's incredibly murderous corn list is this one, because double Ogroid Myrmidon is horrifying, especially when they can whip each other, right? Like This has a lot of kill power in it as well. We've got a whole bunch of like one boxes and one box adjacent. So we've got a really fun Untamed Beast list. We've got Sacrosanct Vanguard. We've got Quad Monkey Monster Killers, like 3 Flame Seekers. Really fun Caradon lists. Some really good fun Gloomspite lists. Hellsmiths. Like, there is so much here, and it's so much fun. And there's a nice mix of really tuned good stuff, some meme stuff, some one box stuff. I think everyone's going to have a really good time just vibing. It looks like a really solid a really solid lineup of lists, and I'm looking forward to seeing who wins in the end. For the record, I don't see myself doing particularly well, simply because my list is fine. It's an absolutely fine list. We've seen it on stream loads of times. It's just an all-comer list, right? It doesn't do anything particularly well. I think it struggles into the wrong matchups. I think it completely folds. So one of the things I've learned whilst playing Sylvaneth is that these are a really bully-centric list. So with Sylvaneth, they can't outkill the killiest stuff, and they can't out-objective the most objectiviest stuff. But they're really good at bullying objectives and treasures and kill missions into the right matchup specifically. Because they're good enough at just about everything, they're just not the best. So I think they're quite matchup dependent. So depending on how it goes, they can do pretty well. I've had a load of fun playing Sylvaneth. And I think this is a pretty good list, all in all. I'm just not hugely confident in how they will perform at the event, because Sylvaneth are hard. they're a funky warband. It's one of those things where with Sylvaneth, it's games either go incredibly well or they collapse very, very quickly, and it's usually based on streams and based on some test games on the lead up. It's usually they're doing pretty darn well, but there's been some pretty devastating like slaps that have like pulled my estimations of them into certain matchups down a little bit. So I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go, but I'm looking forward to doing it because I have thoroughly enjoyed playing Sylvaneth up until this point. So it's going to be a good time. The Beardor Dad, we need a pre-tourney exhibition match. There are, 3 or 4 tourney goers there? There are a lot. I recognize so many names. So we've got Ishak, Ishmael, me. Jamie is a name I recognize. Bitter Lake. David and Rob ring a bell. Of course, Hobby Jackal. PC Banks, I've seen a lot as well. Edward. Of course, Andy. Yulaine. Off-Meta, Fireaxe. There's a lot of like tournament regulars, I think, in this one. Just from like recognizing names. So it's there's a lot of good players here. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Fireaxe, I can't speak today. I've had a list similar to this, and playing it, you have so many options. The versatility keeps winning me games unexpectedly. I'm going to play it likely in Nottingham in December. That's pretty darn good. You better recognize Jamie. You stayed in his house. I did recognize Jamie. I called out Jamie. Don't you be saying otherwise. Yes, Jamie allowed us to stay in his house in Southampton. We stayed over. He was a wonderful host, and went out of his way to make sure we were able to sleep after a 10-hour drive to Southampton. It was great. But yeah, you are right. Like, Sylvaneth are incredibly versatile. They have a lot of tricks, and I have found that nailing when you teleport your guys and who you teleport is usually the difference between victory and defeat. If you can like find a really tricky teleport at just the right time, you can completely balk someone's game plan and do all kinds of really nasty things. So the teleports are just like, oh, where it's at. But let's actually look at the pack, right? Because okay, well, sure. So let's look at the pack, shall we? So let's have a gander. At Warcries in the West, so I haven't seen the pack, which is the issue. So let's have a little look. Some clarifications in relation to the some of the FAQ issues we've had in the past. Some have been fixed, not all of them have been fixed, rather annoyingly, so this is definitely still relevant. The missions. We have 4 missions. We have Shrine Set Ablaze, Stab in the Back, Disrupt the Ritual, and Cleanse Sacred Ground. Let's actually go to the things. So in this pack, you have a catch-up and you have a route to victory. So the catch-up is on rounds 3 and 4. If you are behind, you get an initial wild dice, which is really good to sort of like get more abilities, get initiative when you need it, and sort of like make a comeback in that kind of way. And the route to victory is you get to pick either kill or control, and you gain bonus points based on that. Additionally, every single mission in this pack you can't score turn 1, and you can only score 3 points per turn, I believe, which is kind of spooky. So Shrine Set Ablaze. Okay, so this is an objective mission, if I remember. Yes, it's objectives. So after turn 2, an objective gets selected to be set ablaze. At the end of each battle round, all units get burnt for 2 damage, which can be really good if you are able to get someone down to low wounds and then they get burnt alive. Always good. At the start of round 3, the player who lost the initial roll-off must determine a different objective. At the start of round 4, the last objective that wasn't selected becomes set ablaze. That's all well and good. And then you have scoring. On turns 2, 3, and 4, victory points are scored as follows to a maximum of 3 per turn. So you can do both the kill and the control aspects, I believe. But you get... I need to check this. This pack makes use of standardized scoring. It should never be possible to score more than 3 points per turn and or 9 points in total for the entire kill or control objective. Right, yeah, so you can score on both kill and you can also score on control on both. So you can score 3 on each per turn, up to 9 each over the course of the game. And of course, you also pick a route to victory. Yeah, I was trying to like remember how it worked and then reading it and then yeah, Andy's keeping this right. And you also pick a kill or control route to victory, and you increase your score by a third running up based on what you picked. So if you're going to go for focus on the kill aspect, you can then gain some more points. So at most you can score 21 points, as Annie's just said in the chat there, over the course of the whole game, and that is standardized across all of the missions. So Shrine Set Ablaze for the kill aspect, you can only score on turns 2, 3, and 4. You score a point every time a fighter is taken down, and 1 more point in each case if the enemy fighter taken down does not share your opponent's rune mark. So basically, you can only score 3 points, which means that either kill 3 guys or kill 1 guy plus somebody with like an ally or a thrall or a monster, for example, would all score this additional 1 here. So that's how you get those 3 there. And on the control, you score 1 point per objective and 2 points if you control the Ablaze objective. Of Of course, controlling that blaze objective means you are taking damage, so be careful with that one. So that's an interesting one. I can potentially see this is obviously very much a control-y based one, I think, simply because of the fact there's objectives. You really want mobility, though. I say control, I mean less control. You want more mobility. You want to be able to move and react to the set ablaze objective, because if you aren't, because here you go, right? So the ablaze objective is so important because it's worth 3 points. Okay, because it's worth 2 additional points if you score the ablaze, but you also score 1 point for controlling it. So if you can hold the ablaze objective every single turn, you're going to score 9 points over the course of the game, even if your opponent controls the other 2, because they can only cap out at 2 then. Right, so if you've got the speed to always get to the place you want to go to take that objective, you are in a great spot. The issue is, not many people take mass amounts of speed. I can really see Caradon do really well here. I can see the Goblin list with the Bounder bosses doing really well. The Knight of Shrouds should do a lot of work here as well. So anything with a lot of speed can really heavily influence how this goes. So this is a really fun one. I am a big fan of Shrine Set Ablaze, so that's a lot of fun there. Going on to Stab in the Back. This looks to be a treasure mission. No, it's an objective mission. Sorry, it's an objective mission. So you have one home objective and then one objective that is your opponent's home objective. They're worth more points. On the kill side, kill a guy and score additional points if both the fighter, the killer, and the killed are contesting your opponent's home objective. So if you are basically, this is really pushing you to get into their backline, into their home objective, and just nerd other things on there. In addition, you get 3 full points if you control your opponent's back objective. Again, like Shrine Set Ablaze, you don't necessarily need to fight for anything else. You can just get to their home objective. If you hold that, you're maxing out control every single turn, which is really strong. And then you can focus on those kill things. And there's a real actual case where you don't even hold your own home objective, or you try not to do it all too much, right? Because you want to really so you want their home objective whilst also killing things on their home objective, but you don't want to concede points on your home objective. So if you can get the kill points whilst holding their objective whilst losing yours, you should still be in the lead. You just want nothing on your home objective in that case. I don't know if that's the way to do it though, but it's definitely a path there, like a route to some sort of victory where you completely abandon your home objective and just beeline for theirs and try to nab a sneaky kill on their objective and just hold the line for a bit. Although good luck doing that when their whole warband is 2/3 their warband are in that area, right? You've got quite the trek to get there. So whether or not that's actually possible, I don't know. But Stab in the Back is another really good focus mission I'm a big fan of. Going to Disrupt the Ritual. In this mission, fighters cannot end a move action with their base on top of a objective. That's fine. From turn 2 onwards, fighters within 2 inches of the ritual pillar who have no enemy fighters within 1 inch can remove a vial from the ritual pillar. Oh, this one. the vial. Okay, this is a good one. If a fighter costs 80 points or more, they must use an action to remove the vial. A fighter costing less than that must use the wait action immediately after they have used remove a vial. If they can't do both actions in the sequence, they cannot remove the vial. Okay? And then finally, any fighter, regardless of its point cost, may use the following ability. Double this fighter performs a remove an action vial as a bonus action. And the action can only be performed 6 times in the battle total. Yeah, oh yeah. So in stab in the back, the dagger round 2 comes in right on their back line, which is very true. Yes, of course. The scary thing is that your on that one is that your turn 2 comes on, but then they've potentially got their 2 whole battle groups ready to pincer you, which is quite scary. But if you've got a strong dagger, you can very much just like slam into their home objective and potentially take it, which is very scary. There's a lot of really fun, depending on your list, there's a lot of really funky play, I think, with how you can play stab in the back and get that sneaky win. So the Disrupt the Ritual is all about looting these objectives, right? And depending on abilities and points costs, it determines how easy it is to do those things. Once a fighter has performed this action, they must choose a fighter, a friend or foe, including themselves, within 2 inches of the pillar. If the fighter is visible, i.e. not themselves, that fighter must already activated this battle round. That fighter is now carrying treasure. So basically, you're looting the objective and lobbing the treasure at friends. Andy, on Disrupt, you can spend dice or an action for a big unit or 2 actions for a strong unit to mine the treasure. The wording is a bit convoluted for the reasons, but that's the gist. Yeah, so you've basically got one guy who is like potentially digging through for vials and then eating them at his friends, which is hilarious. Then we get to the scores. So we get to the scores, and we have the kill, 1 point for every kill, as per, and an additional point if the enemy was carrying a treasure at the time. So treasure carriers are more valuable to kill. And then for the control, 1 point each time the remove a vial action is used by a friendly fighter. So just using... Oh, I missed that. Yes, Andy. So friends or foes, you can actually loot the objective, give it to an enemy, and then kill them to farm kill points. That's very interesting. Of course, at the risk of us giving them points for holding the treasure, because you get a point for holding the. So you get a point for removing the vial, and a point for carrying at the end. So interesting. Very interesting. I can. So you can only this action can only perform 6. So yeah. Okay. So I imagine no. It's tricky, right? Because you can't score points. You can't score points on round 1, right? Is that correct? So you don't want to loot them turn 1, because yes, you can loot them turn 1, but you are then carrying at the end of round 2 and round 4. Oh, see, I am not reading this well at all. This is why I don't do mission breakdowns. I'm really bad at this. So yes, you only score for holding at the ends of 2 and 4, which is quite interesting. And this is not capped per round. Interesting as well. Okay. But only 9 over the course of the entire battle. And you can't use the action turn on turn 1. Okay. Okay, this is a funky one. There's a lot of funky play here. I've played this as well. Like, I know how this works. I played this in Southampton. It was a really fun mission. This is a funky one. So passing objectives to enemies and killing them, or hoarding them and hiding. There's a lot of funky stuff here. Especially when this one's not capped, right? So to a maximum of 9 still over the course of the battle. You want to time. It's tricky. I'm trying to think of like the best course of action. It's a very tricky one, but obviously you want to on turn 1. So Andy, this one's not capped per round, right? So theoretically, you could loot 3 times on turn 2. And then hold 3 treasures on turn 2 and score 6 points that battle round, right? Because you've got the 3 points for holding them and the 3 points for looting them, right? So theoretically that'd be 6. So if you can get that early on, and max out control early, you can then focus on hunting down their treasures and taking them out, whilst also making sure yours don't die. You don't want to be bleeding points to your treasure carriers dying. So it's definitely, but it's also very much a rush to the middle. It's a big old straight line of treasures, right? So you're rushing to get those treasures, frantically looting them, and then hoping to then hold out with yours and bop them to death with theirs. Yeah, 6 points on round 2 and then 3 points on round 4 isn't unlikely for the control aspect. That's very true. It's very unlikely to score anything on turn 3, because I think you can score by looting on turn 3, but unless your opponent hasn't looted anything on turn 2, then I think you'd be struggling to score those extra 3 points then. Very fun though. And the final mission is Cleanse Sacred Grounds. So we have a really fun deployment. So all your guys deploy turn 1, but you still deploy using dagger, hammer, shield in that order and those groups. Objectives. The objective to use your deployment is your home objective, your opponent's home, and of course the center is the center line objective. Yeah, you can cap out on round 2 if your opponent isn't playing that aspect of the game. That's very true. I think you'd get. I think you'd be very, very lucky to manage to pull that off. Although I guess because you can loot 2 in 1 turn, right? Theoretically, if you're in position to like loot, pass them off, and then they could potentially then like loot theirs only once based on scenario. They could loot another 2 times. You could potentially get like 4 on a good day, but on a really good day, getting all 6 would be kind of bonkers. I'm assuming you can't. Okay, and you can also drop them, right? By the looks of it, so you can also like score the points on like max it out earlier than just like drop all the treasures and leave them, so you don't farm, you don't get farmed for those kill points as well. But Cleanse the Sacred Ground. It's the home objectives and the center line objectives. Kill points. 1 point is scored each time enemy fighter is taken down, as per. And an additional point is scored if both fighters, the killer and the killed, are contesting your home objective at the time. So you're getting bonus points. So in the last home objective based one, you're getting bonus points for killing things on their objective. But this one, you're getting bonus points for actually defending your objective, which is interesting. So innately less aggressively focused by the looks of it. And then control, you have 2 points if no enemy fighters are within 3 inches of your home. Okay. End of round 2, 3, and 4. 2 points are scored if your home objective is clear. That's going to be tricky. Iron Jaws would have had a field day with their pushes. Pushing things off the objective. And then 1 point for every other objective you control. Interesting. Okay. So this is very interesting because it's more defensively focused because you want to kill things on your objective for the bonus points. But also you don't necessarily want to go after your opponent's objective because you don't score points as effectively for that. You really want to clear out your home objective more so. But also if you don't at the very least get something in the other objective, then you aren't going to disrupt their scoring mechanism. So this one again really relies on a bit of speed because you want to have enough speed to like almost piecemeal send one guy who's durable and fast near the end of the round and just plonk him on their objective, not even to hold it, just to fuck with them. Because then they don't score 2 points. And then the whole time you're then defending your point, making sure that they can't get through to you. This is interesting. This is really interesting. I can see fast warbands thriving in this one. Just beware not to not to farm too many on the kill, right? You don't want to be losing points on the kill. And to maximize control, you'd still need to take another objective. And the other objective is really going to be the no man's land, right? The center line. You want to get one guy on theirs, defend yours adequately, and then hold off the middle line. You really don't want too many guys on their objective, because if you do, you want to start bleeding points, because they're going to get the bonus points for killing you, and also the point for the bonus point for killing you on their objective, in addition to the point for killing you in general. So you could be bleeding them, you could be draining them 2 points on control, but then feeding them 2 points on kill. So it has to be something durable, and it's got to be timed just right to ensure you aren't just throwing a guy there and they're going to die. So in this match, in the lists we have, I think Caradon do amazingly well. I think the ideal scenario, you throw in the Null Chemist, like end of turn 2, and you really rely on your ability, your battle trait, a good deal, to tank their big hits, their big blows on that guy, whilst also blending through their guys with your amazing flamethrower, right? That could do it. Night Shrouds are, of course, outstanding on this. They're durable, they're fast, and can heal. And yeah, Varangard. Varangard being wounds 30, toughness 6, and they're fast. Is going to be a good time. And Phylax having the Deathbringer, yeah, Phylax, if Phylax gets a Deathbringer on his home objective, then you really can't contest it. Like, you're going to really struggle to effectively contest that, because all these big, durable, fast movers could just get one-tapped. Bearing in mind, of course, that the Deathbringer's threat range is 5 inches, and if they want to stop you scoring home points, they've got to be within 3. So anything getting near that objective, Phylax can 100% just pop their head off the Deathbringer. So Deathbringer just plays fantastic defensive duty on this one. That's a really good shout. These are all really fun. These are all really, really fun missions. There's a nice mix of tricky play, nice mix of decision making. There's a lot going on in all of them, and there's a nice variation between really aggressive missions that are really pushing you to slam into each other, and other ones that are a little trickier, that are meant to be a little bit sneakier, right? But then, of course, you've always got the kill and the control aspect, so every warband can do pretty well based on that makeup, because you can do, if you don't think you can do kill very well, you can then focus on control. You can then choose your route to victory to be control, to then gain more points in your control, in the control aspect additionally from that, and then focus your efforts on denying someone who's very kill focused from scoring their kill things by just avoiding being killed, and drain them of their route to victory, drain them of their kill points, and really focus on that. So there's always a route to victory, literally based on the actual pack, but also in terms of the actual, like, the concept itself, based on your warband. The question really becomes, though, is, do you want to focus heavily in one side or the other? Do you want what'll do better, right? If a fully focused kill or control list, or a list that is more suited to doing both, that can do a bit of kill, can do a bit of control, which one would, how that pan out, how that fare? And I am interested to see how that goes. I think, despite being really hot on the Vulcan Flameseekers lists, on the list readout, I actually think that they are going to really struggle to get around the board on some of these, to really contest and do a lot of the tricks that you need to do to get some, like, to really push their scores aggressively or deny their opponent's scores. I think they're possibly too slow and a little bit too one note to maybe be able to land those really big, tricky, meaty plays. But we'll see how that pans out. I'm really excited. Beard or Dad, Flameseeker's reaction is going to be clutch along with Respite as a double now. Yes, Flameseeker reaction is really strong. It's always been really strong. One of the things that I think often catches... So one of the things I did a lot playing Flameseekers, I fought a lot into Vexmors during the preparation for UK Games Expo. There's a lot of Vexmors, a lot of things that were very dangerous, but really got messed up by the Flameseeker reaction. Because if you look at Vexmor can obviously just one tap a Scale Breaker. And a Scale Breaker, if he's lucky, survives. Then the Scale Breaker can pop a Vexmor if he survives. The issue is he doesn't survive. But how you do it is, of course, you let Vexmor come to you. He moves, he swings once, right? You pop your reaction. Now, Vexmor actually can't kill you. There is no combination of dice that Vexmor can kill a 12 wound model when he can't crit on either of those dice. So now the Flameseeker, he absorbs the Vexmor blow, then swings back with Ignite Weapon, pops him for a good old 5-10 damage based on the power of the roll plus Ignite. And then next turn, if you go first, you could actually potentially kill Vexmor on a double swing with Ignite. And this happened time and time again. Was you absorb the big scary thing, you swing back, you then go first, and then swing back twice. And the amount of damage a Flameseeker can do with that is quite terrifying. And you might find that to be the case in some of these missions where there's a bit more aggression based. If you can set up just right and get them to come into you, absorb the blow, and then just clap back, could be quite powerful. I'm just concerned that they are a smidge too slow. And I think actually in this case as well, because they're so slow, that +1 movement on the Thane list might actually come at clutch. And what's really, really interesting is I think the Hellsmiths of a shut do really well into most, if not all of these, because they have all kinds of movement tricks on their models, on their support pieces, and of course they have +1 move in that list as well. They are very, 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 very nimble. They can get around where they want to be at all times, and that's kind of spooky. Plus that big old Desolation engine is going to do all kinds of nasty things to everybody. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'm stoked to get there, play some games, and have a good time. Natter with everybody, and just vibe. I don't get to play too much Warcry in real life. I say that despite going to 17,000 tournaments this year. That's really the only time I get to play Warcry in real life is at tournaments. So it's always exciting to go to them and just have a good time vibing with everybody there. If you haven't been to a Warcry tournament before, no matter where you live, I highly recommend you do so. Simply because the vibes at all the ones I've been to have been fantastic. The Warcry community is very, very welcoming to new players. The competitive scene is wonderfully mixed between really tuned, powerful lists and softer lists and beginner lists, and it means that you'll always get some matchups over the course of an event where you are able to just vibe and have a good time. And of course, the vibes are always good because even those more tuned lists, the players playing them are so pleasant to play against. So, Beano Dad, are they move 12 on a double with a +1 move, or is my maths wrong? Well, let's have a look. Warcrier. Let's have a gander. So if we go to Hellsmiths, so they're moving 4 with their move, thanks to the +1 move blessing they have on that list. And then you have your double for March, right? Add 2, yeah, they're movement 6, they're movement 12. They're movement 12. And they ignore engagement basically as well. So they're movement 12, they can get around the board. And of course, there's a Despot in there. He could pop this off twice. they could potentially go 18 inches a turn. Right, they are by far, it's not even close, they are by far the fastest dwarfs in the game. Like, Vulcan Flameseekers gives them a little bit of a run for their money because they have access to their triple to whip things and then their own like triple movement ability, so they can do that. But it's also more expensive because you're using a double and a triple to get one guy at the board, as opposed to like a double, I suppose like potentially 3 doubles to get one guy mega fast and everyone else up slightly less fast, right? There's a lot here. It's a very fast list, and the demon engine, this little fucker. I am excited to see how the Dominator works. This guy defending a home objective on that last mission, Sacred Grounds, Cleanse the Sacred Ground or whatever, the Dominator engine just parking his ass on your home and being just like goading people to come on your objective, to like, you know, dare them to try and deny you your points. He will cave their skulls in. Caradon are fast on an individual sense. Yes, Caradon having the flying balloons are definitely faster. That is very, very true. And I think the fastest is actually Dispossessed. Dispossessed are wild because they've got movement 12 on their gyrocopters, which is incredible. So I'm not hugely up on Dispossessed and the current meta, but from the list I've seen, not on this event, of course, there are no Dispossessed. Dispossessed, they don't seem to take their copters or bombers all too often. From what I've seen, they seem to like go heavy on the allies and heavy on the little guys, and just like chunky stomp everywhere, but they don't seem to take their flyers. If someone's got more knowledge on that, that'd be fantastic. But if that is the case, just from my very small sample size of what I've seen in the past, I don't see why they wouldn't take these. These are so good, especially in this pack, right? You imagine a gyrocopter on this pack, 24-inch fly threat range. Not only can you like deny objectives, in that last mission, for example, deny their points, but counting as 3 models, it could possibly take the point in addition to that, right? On a particularly spooky day, on any objective mission, this guy's flying around, counting as 3, potentially counting as 5 if you're already there. The gyrocopter is a piece of work. The potential to be on an objective, activate, get chunky, wait, then at the end of the turn, activate again, move to a different objective, use your ability again, count as 5, and just drop this bomb of 5 models onto an objective within 12. Bearing in mind, 12 inches is like about half the board of coverage. You could get to potentially any objective from any objective based on their placements, and just drop this guy off with his 5 model weight and just take anything. He's kind of bonkers. The gyro bomber having more wounds is possible. He's better in melee, better at shooting as well. The gyro bomber is probably a better model, but I quite like the gyrocopter for the speed, personally. So that's what I go to. But a gyrocopter could do a lot of work in Dispossessed in this pack. But I do enjoy that every dwarf faction does have its own unique flavor of like how do we move around, right? Like, we're all slow. What's our method of running? And Dispossessed, they have flyers. They've got like helicopters. The Caradon have balloon boys. Then everyone else just runs really fucking fast. Like Fire Slayers, Flame Seekers, and Chaos Dwarfs, no fancy tech. They just sprint the whole game. They're dangerous over short distances. They're not built for cross country, apparently. A sprinting armored dwarf outrunning a straight up horse is the mental image I needed in my day. Exactly right. Like the fact that the Caradon overlords are the Chaos Dwarfs are actually faster than some cavalry is hilarious. Like light cavalry tends to be movement 10, and then some of your heavier stuff sometimes drops to like 9 or 8 in some cases, depending on what it is. So they absolutely can like run the same speed as a horse, if not outrun them, based on what the horse is. And they outrun most elves. So these little short stunty guys just outrunning elves is just hilarious. I think they actually outrun Riverblades. So Riverblades are movement 5 base. They gain +1 move on a double, and they gain +1 move when they are next to terrain. So they go to movement 7, and their battle trait stacks. So they could actually go to movement 15 on 2 when they're moving twice. So they actually outrun Riverblades by quite a substantial margin. Right. If fully geared for sprinting, they outrun the fastest elf faction in the game in a straight up sprint. Which is so funny. Look, I love it. Just different ways of creatively making dwarfs move so they don't automatically lose everything. It's good to see. But I'm going to end the stream there, I think. Bit of a shorter stream this week. But nattering about all the lists, having a bit of a natter about the pack. It's been a good time. I'm planning on doing some vloggy type content, I think, during some recordings during the event, and then putting that into a video going over the event for next week. So keep an eye out for that. It should be a good time, and good luck to everybody and anybody who's going to the event, because it looks to be a good one, and hopefully I'll see you there and we'll have a good natter. If you're traveling there, of course, drive safely and or fly safely, as I think some Phylax, as an example, is flying there. But yeah, until next time, everybody, thanks for joining the stream. It's been a good natter, and I'll catch us all next week. Ta-ra!